you want to see how you can copy and paste our prospecting in a box system so that you can enroll at least one new high value client into your business every single week within the next 7 days? Well, in this video, I'll break that down for you. What's up, everybody? My name is Brian Downard, one of the partners here at Prospecting on Demand. And in this short video, I will break down our entire prospecting in a box system, what that looks like. I'll share with you what our offer is. So there's nothing hidden. You don't have to wonder, like, what's the ulterior motive? How do I work with you? And then you can decide if, based on what you see here, that's something you want to take advantage of to start attracting more clients within the next 7 days. So at the end of this video, I'll give you an opportunity, if you feel like this makes sense for you, to book a very simple, zero risk, zero obligation opportunity to kind of get a demo call and just see what this would look like if we were to install it in your specific business. And if we came alongside you, what type of results you could expect from this system. Now, I want you to start by just imagining what your business would look like if you had more clarity on how to position and price your offer in a way that made it easy for your prospects to say yes and easy for you to fulfill on the back end. So every time you sell a new client, it's not requiring you to stop everything you're doing and taking a lot more hours from you every single week. That takes your focus off of growing the business. What if you could actually manufacture demand for that offer by running very simple direct response ads to book at least 10 high quality sales calls every single week? And what if you could close at a much higher rate so you maximize the current sales opportunities that you're letting slide by kind of just winging it and doing something different on different calls, saying different things to different people, and just hoping that the outcomes get better? And imagine you could learn how to fish so that you never, ever go hungry again, and that you're never at the mercy of low-performing agencies, bad sales reps, client churn, or really just channels that might disappear or go away, but you always have this skill set so no one can ever take that from you. What would your business look like if you had these things? And I want to do a really quick disclaimer, right? Because your BS radar is probably going off. I just want to be really clear. We have done this with over 1,000 agencies at this point. This is so far past theory. The only way to fail at doing this is just to never to show up, right? It's like paying for 12 months at the gym and then showing up for the first time 6 months later and going like, why am I not in shape already? That is not how this is going to work. So you really have to ask yourself, like, you know what you have to do, but are you willing to take the necessary actions to do so? Because I'm going to be really real. The investment is typically the easy part. And people who are well qualified can even get payments as low as $300, $500 a month to get this type of support. So the investment is really the easy part, but are you going to be willing and able to show up and do the work? It's your choice. Now, if I haven't totally lost you yet, let's keep rocking. We've been in this space for more than 9 years now, and 9 years of client success is the reason why we've outlasted so many other programs out there. Really, what we've seen work the best is having a level of clarity around the process, having accountability to implement that, and having a community to back you so those rising tides lift all boats. And there's no shortage of testimonials, video, written, screenshots, proof, case studies that we can show you to prove to you that, look, this can work for you too. Over 1,000 agencies served, 250 seven-figure earners, over 600 multiple six-figure earners, and Prospecting in a Box has generated more than $300 million in sales for all of our clients. So again, this works if you're willing to show up and work it. Now, tell me if this maybe feels familiar. We call it the agency hamster wheel. You consume some free content, you find a new shiny object, new system, new automation, new tool, this next thing that's going to solve all your problems. You try it for a couple weeks or a couple months, you get mediocre or no results, you get frustrated, and then you repeat that journey. This is not a sustainable way to grow your business. And maybe you're feeling stuck in this loop sometimes. It is very common, and you are not alone. Most people out there who are trying to help you solve this problem, they want to push some tool or some affiliate link to something they're doing as the answer. But I don't know if you've ever heard this saying, the only people who really got rich during the gold rush were the people selling the tools, right? They were selling the shovels, the pickaxes, and something kind of similar is happening in the space nowadays. There's so many people pushing like, hey, you just need this tool or this automation or this shovel or this pickaxe. This will solve all your problems. When in reality, none of them are really teaching you where to go mine for gold, how to mine for gold. And at the end of the day, I don't really care about what tools you're using. I want to make sure you know exactly how to use them to get more customers more consistently and grow your business to a place you know that you deserve to be at. And really the answer is, if you're like, well, Brian, like, what is the answer? If I have these tools, how do I win long-term? It requires you to do the common uncommonly well. And the reality is the bar is not that high because everyone else is chasing the wrong things. They're chasing flashy, shiny objects, new tools, automations, and shortcuts to the outcome that if you can just do the basics extremely well, have a good offer, have a process by which you're getting consistent opportunities and sales calls, and a clear sales process, you will be able to make more money than you ever have before. And how do we know this, right? Like, am I just making this up? No. We've actually built 2 7-figure companies. One of them we've been running for 15 years. It's a personal injury marketing agency, so for personal injury attorneys. And then this company, Prospecting on Demand, for the past 9 years, and we've made almost $6.5 million during that time with these same exact processes. So we practice exactly what we preach, and we install the same exact systems that we use in our own agencies to our clients' businesses. Now, the reality is, like, there are agencies in this community right now growing faster than you. And I'm not saying that to make you feel bad, but I'm just letting you know it's not because they're special or they have some like magic wand or they have more time than you during the day. They're just allocating their resources a little differently, right? And they're just doing the right things in the right order. And very often you can accomplish a lot more by doing less as long as it's the right things in the right order. So again, if you're feeling stuck on that agency hamster wheel and feeling like you're constantly looking for the next solution, the next thing that's going to save you, really pay attention to this video because it could be the most important one you watch all year. Now, really what you need is the perspective of someone who's already been where you want to go. So I call this that perspective of the person on the mountain. Right now, you may feel like you're isolated out on an island somewhere, right? You can see the horizon in all different directions around you, but you know that mountain exists out there. You know it's possible. Other people are on that mountain, but you're continuously making decisions based off the perspective of being on the island. And you need to start making decisions based on the perspective of the person on the mountain, because that person has already been there and they can look down at that island and tell you, hey, this is where the water is more shallow. This is where the forest is. This is where the jungle is. This is where you need to go and what you need to do. Because another kind of saying that we have here is could versus should. There's a lot of things out there you could do, right? You could so many different offers, so many different ways to get clients, so many different sales processes. But the reality is there's a couple of very specific things that you should do to actually get where you want to go with a lot less frustration and in a lot less time. So if you're looking for a real solution to consistently getting more clients, instead of just relying on flashy, short-lived success that provide minimal insights that are a mile wide and an inch deep, we understand that it's hard, and that's exactly why you need our help. And most people tend to get really excited about this type of thing, right? So apologies to whoever's graphic this is. It was just one of the complex funnels that I kind of dug up when I was doing some research. And our human brains love complexity. And so we see something like this, like, oh, that's the answer. That's what I need to do. And we get really hyped and excited when in reality, the more complicated you make it, the harder it is to scale your agency. Simplicity in all areas is what actually scales. So here's what the easy button actually looks like. What we're going to want to do is not just get more clients. We need to get more clients on a scalable offer. So one of the first things we'll do in working together is get you just clarity on what that offer is. And instead of welding a bunch of different services and different industries together into, a haphazard Frankenstein vehicle, we need to create something that, again, is easy to sell and easy to scale. So you can have confidence in selling a premium offer and then the capacity to fulfill that offer without more hours from yourself. The next thing we need to do is get you consistent inbound leads. We want to push them through a proven sales process. Again, this is where Prospecting in a Box really comes into play. And this is like an assembly line client acquisition system that you actually own. You don't have to continuously pay us to have access to this. Once it's in place, it's yours. You can do what you want with it. And Prospecting in a Box will allow you to consistently get more sales calls. So you're booking at a minimum 10 more sales calls per week. And you can turn that up, down, on, off like a faucet in alignment with whatever your goals are. And then we can get that close rate close to ideally a 20% rate or higher. So you are confidently enrolling people who are internet strangers, right? Because selling like word of mouth and referrals, like those are easier. They know you, they trust you a little better because someone sent them your way. Someone who's never met you, you can't just wing it. You can't just show up and do something different every time. You need a clear process to take someone through to give them confidence in purchasing your offer and actually working with you. This is where Prospecting in a Box comes in. And then the third thing that we're going to make sure we do together and make sure that you have is certainty. Taking you from a place where you have uncertainty or unsure, maybe have some level of imposter syndrome, to a place where the outcome is inevitable. This is what we call informed optimism, because you get that perspective that you want to have from the person on the mountain instead of the perspective of that island where you just can't see over the horizon. You can't see where you need to go. You need someone to be able to guide you there. And so we make sure you have access in a one-to-one capacity and unlimited Slack access to our team, as well as the community where we're doing daily office hours, weekly masterminds, and making sure you have and are surrounded by the people who will lift you up and Sherpa your way up the mountain instead of just letting you go off and figure it out by yourself. Now, just to be really clear kind of where we fit into the marketplace, we're not an agency, meaning we're not going to do everything for you. We're not a course where you figure it out yourself. And we are a lot more than just what you may consider a coaching or mentorship program. Prospecting in a Box falls somewhere in the middle because, again, it's an assembly line. A lot of these pieces and parts are already proven, done for you, and built out on a proven system. But we need to work together to take them that last 5 to 10% of the way there and apply them to your actual business so you can get the outcomes that you want. Now, the real problem is you're just bombarded with options, right? And this is one of the options. I get that. But, what should your offer be? What niche should you pick? Where should you get sales calls? How do you close more deals? What should you charge? Should I white label or in-house? How do I manage the tech? And there's so many moving pieces where in reality, what we need to make sure that we are doing is decide to take action in spite of all those actions and let the path be revealed by taking the action. We have this flywheel where it's action creates data, data creates optimization, optimization creates better action. And yeah, I know it can feel like a lot, but do you want to just wing it and have that action create muddy data that you don't leverage the data, you don't make optimizations, you just kind of feel stuck in the hamster wheel? Do you want to dabble and just like do a little bit of this and try a little bit here, a little bit there? Do you want to maybe be a know-it-all and already tell yourself you've already got the answers and then plateau at a certain point? Or do you want to commit to a level of mastery that's going to get you the skills required to earn the type of money you know you deserve to be making? Which door do you want to take? Because the reality is, like, if you want to simplify and put yourself in the best possible position to win and to get to your goals, you have to do the basics well. And the channels that you use and how channels change and evolve over time, Facebook, or went from MySpace, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and these things just graduate and people's attention goes to different places over the years, over the decades. But in reality, when you just have a great offer, you can get interested buyers on a call, use a repeatable process to sell, and have capacity to handle more clients on the back end. These are the things where you can win any season or any time of whatever trend is the latest fashion. And guess what? You can actually do this without spending a crazy amount of money on ads. Your budget is really going to be determined by your cost per acquisition and your specific growth goals. But you can do this also without hiring a large team, without posting content or creating content every single day, without spamming your market or bothering strangers, and chasing more shiny object or whatever flavors of the month that exist. Because we have done this with so many people, and I could continuously show you story after story, people who hit multiple six figures by implementing prospecting in a box, or people who hit their first $1 million run rate in their business or made their first million, people who are closing six-figure, seven-figure deals, hitting numbers that they did not think is possible on their own because they now have a system they can leverage to do that consistently. And so the beauty of this is when you follow the process, when you follow Prospecting the Box, our one call close frameworks, the infinitely scalable agency model, the strategy partner agency offer frameworks, you can start to earn a lot more money and really, again, make the type of impact on your clients that you know you're capable of earning. So again, other people, 100K months, seven-figure agencies that we've helped build just over and over again through the exact processes we have here in this program. So here's what you're going to have once you commit to this 12-week program. You're going to have absolute clarity on how to price your products and your services for maximum impact and maximum profitability so they're easy to sell, easy to scale. We're going to make sure you can manufacture demand for that offer by having consistent sales calls. We're going to give you a clear sales framework to take people through that's repeatable, rinse and repeat. You can use that over and over again for you and your team. And most importantly, teach you how to fish so you never go hungry again or you never have to rely on anyone else to fish for you. So to run through again, what we're going to get here: clarity, accountability, community. You can license all these assets, get a clear implementation path, and get, frankly, guaranteed results. Because if you are not booking at least 10 sales calls every single week by the end of this program, we keep you in it for free until you do. That's a core tenet of what we believe. We know this works as long as you're willing to show up and work it. We will back you until you get results. We will give you the accountability you need through one-to-one implementation calls, private Slack channel, and daily implementation calls and mastermind to be able to get feedback from our subject matter experts and your peers. And then the community that will lift you up, because every single week we're meeting, getting peer feedback, doing hot seats, learning from each other. We meet up a couple times a year in person, and there's a community Slack channel, so you always have that soundboard of people you can go to lean on to get the answers you're looking for. Now, if after watching this quick video, you feel like you are more likely to win with an established program, proven systems, with over 1,000 agencies served, instead of just more free information, here's what I'm going to recommend you do next. You're going to book a free Prospecting the Box implementation call. There's no obligation on this call. We're not going to strong arm you into some kind of offer. We're only going to make an offer to you if we feel that it would benefit you and your business. So you're going to fill out the form here. Should be a button somewhere on this page. You can schedule that. Just fill out a couple of short pieces of information. You will then be able to go to a calendar where you can book that time to speak with our team. You'll connect with one of our subject matter experts, usually myself, my business partner Alex, or someone else on our team who knows this space inside and out. And we'll only share that offer again if it makes 100% sense for where you're at. And worst case scenario, you at least get some personalized feedback on where you're at, so you feel like you've got some clarity and direction. So what I want you to go do right now is grab that 15-minute slot, and I will see you on the other side. Thanks so much for your time today.